Hi guys, today we're going to be seeing what if the Americas were never colonized by the Europeans. So this is not based on anything, but I've basically divided up all of North America and South America into nations that I think would happen. But it's not based off of anything, and I don't mean to offend anyone. So yeah, let's get straight to the video. Okay, so let's just give you an understanding on the top three most powerful nations in each continent. In North America, those are this nation here, which I might call just California, this nation here, or which I'm probably going to call Mexico, even though they're not, and this nation here, which I might call the Great Lakes nation. I'm not sure though. They just control the Mississippi River, but yeah. And in South America, we're gonna have this nation here. With my knowledge, this is very limited. I think that's the Inca Empire. And who else would be strongest here? And I think it'd probably be these two nations because they're big. But probably this nation here would be fourth because I just think so, not based off of anything. But yeah, let's see here. So first off, we have this nation here. Uh, this nation here and this nation here have rising tensions because this nation here is quite small. It's probably not going to be too hard to take over. So let's just see here. If I do that. Okay. So this nation decides to declare war on this one right there. So troops begin going in, and this country's the blue side is not doing too well. And after a couple of weeks, this nation surrenders. Let's look at this peace treaty. And now this nation here has fully annexed the other nation, which I'm probably going to call Miami. It is now part of, I'm going to call this Greater Florida. So yeah. So more nations are starting to seek more power, and I'm gonna make this a series if this video does well, but we'll find out then. So as we said, California, which I'm gonna call this nation here, is a great power, and it starts eyeing up its neighbors, and it sees Baja California, and it decides let's invade it. So California decides to invade Baja California. Troops begin going in. uh, Troops begin going in from the border, and but they're eventually stopped right here. After a couple of months, the blue side is able to make a crack in the lines, and they make sure that their country is defended, and they go back to the border. But using just brute force and numbers, California floods 200,000 troops down here, and there's not much that Baja California or the blue side is able to do after all these troops enter. And Uh, after taking over most of the country, Baja California, or the blue side, surrenders. I don't even think I need to do a peace treaty here. It's just quite short. Let's just do this. I'm going to show you guys a little sneak peek of the process. Okay, so now California controls a little bit of Baja California, and now it's starting to get more influence. And Mexico was not too happy about power being right next to its border. So, after a little while and rising tensions, this Mexico state here decides to declare war on this state here. Let's see how this plays out. California here has the red side has a higher population, but the blue side it's bigger. I think I'll say slightly bigger. And so let's begin. So it's a stalemate at first, but then the blue side is able to go through the border here. Sorry for that little gap. I'll fix that. And after a little bit of fighting, they're stopped, but they're able to make a little push here into this rebellious part of the red side, and but they're stopped. And then a break in the line is found, and now uh, the blue side is being pushed out of the borders, and it's not looking too good for the blue side. They're kicked out of the red side's borders. I'm just gonna call them that. And eventually, a push into the blue side is made, and I'm gonna give it the same capital. And after a couple of months of fighting, the front looks like this. And this country does not want to be taken over, uh, but they can't really do anything. So this nation here decides to join in because it wants some land. So after crossing into the border, uh, the blue side is now being invaded by lots of fronts, and they're not going to be able to hold off the line. Now, these two countries here, they're not necessarily allies, but they decide to work together just to invade the blue side. And after a little bit of more fighting, uh, the blue side is able to make a counteroffensive, and they're focused on this area to defend their capital, and also because this country is a little bit weaker, and now they start pushing into this country's borders, but no progress is made on the other front. And now a huge just line happens just to because the red side is eager for progress. They start slithering up the coast as well to get some more cities and more valuable land. They encircle troops here. They surrender, and blue forces are kicked out of this area. So then after this, the front looks something like this. These troops are surrender, and it's just not looking too good for the blue side at the moment. In a desperate attempt, the blue side makes one more counteroffensive before they'll decide to surrender, probably. But it literally does nothing. The fronts do not change even a bit. So after a long 3 weeks, I think the capital's there. The capital is taken, and the blue side decides to surrender. So let's look at this interesting peace treaty. And here is the peace treaty. So, the blue side, or it used to be the blue side, has been quite brutally uh, taken land from, and now there's a big power over here in the east. I mean west. I totally know my compass, yeah. And this becomes the blue side becomes a puppet state, and this country here becomes an ally of the red side, and they form an alliance, even though this guy was kind of forced because he's a puppet state. But yeah. So let's turn over to South America now. So there's a powerful empire already, which I'm probably gonna call the Inca Empire. But I don't. But if it controls more land than it should, I don't mean to offend anyone. And it decides to declare war on these two nations. Let's see what happens. So there's a lot of mountains here. So not much is going to be done there. So uh, the Inca Empire decides just to mainly focus on the border here and to make sure that they don't set supplies between each other and from here as well. And these nations don't stand much of a chance. And eventually, the forces of the red side begin to uh, go into the blue side a bunch more. And these little nations really can't do much but slightly resist. And both of them decide to make a counteroffensive here. So maybe they can join forces and take out the red side together, which is successful. And they encircle some troops here. But other than that, not much happens on the line. And soon, what their gains that they had made are soon lost, and they're back right where they started. So eventually, these two nations decide it's not worth it, and I hope if they don't keep fighting for too much longer, that they'll maybe not be fully annexed. So both nations decide to surrender. Let's look at this peace treaty. Here is the peace treaty. Now the Inca Empire has expanded and fully annexed both nations, and yeah. So if you guys wanna make this a series, I will continue this series. But this is just meant to be a short little video, so I'm not gonna stall for much longer. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button. Like these nations smash the other nations. I need to give these nations a name. And no offense to anyone though. And yeah, have a good morning, afternoon, or evening. And yeah, bye.